This is one of Cluny the Scourge's online Rome Total War battles, and this time I'm playing as the Numidians. I've taken 2 units of camel riders as the striking element of my horse, 6 units of archers, who for some reason are wearing feathers in their hats. The less that's said about that, the better, I think. I've taken 6 units of desert infantry, that's medium spearmen essentially, and 5 units of Numidian cavalry. Those are the best skirmishing javelin equipped cavalry in the game. Now I've begun the game by deploying well over to my right in order to minimize the possibility of my opponent gaining any kind of height advantage initially. This map is on a slight gentle slope but evenly balanced. My opponent, Stratigos, is playing as Spain. He's taken 6 units of Scutarii, which are medium infantry armed with javelins, 2 of Iberian light infantry holding the wings, 2 units of slingers, 1 unit of war dogs in the rear, 1 onager unit, and for his cavalry, 4 units of general's bodyguard, 2 of them of the armoured type, 1 long shield cavalry in support. That's some pretty tough cavalry, especially in comparison to my own striking units, but he's begun the battle with them split, on either wing and in the centre. Now for the opening moves of the battle, I send my army heading towards his, holding a steady defensive line of those spearmen, protecting my archers, 3 units of archers on loose formation in front, 3 on tight formation behind. I send my striking cavalry over to the right, and I await developments. Now I have a very strong missile advantage. He's only taken 2 units of slingers compared to my 6 of archers, which is curious really, since he knew that he was playing against Numidia and should have been expecting a strong element of skirmishing cavalry, and so he really needed missile troops or fast moving light cavalry to catch them, and he's taken neither. He can't then simply rely on his artillery to force me to come to attack him, since I'll simply drown him with arrows. What I'm expecting then is that he will make a full-scale infantry assault against me and use his superior hand-to-hand troops to envelop and mob me. Now, I've sent my Numidian skirmishing cavalry way over to the left to try to dislocate the enemy line, distract him, hold his attention. Meanwhile, as you can see, he's sent just 2 units of his cavalry, for some reason, way out from the main line, presumably to menace my camel riders, which I promptly move back, and let my archers do the main work, since he's brought them neatly within range of my superior missile troops. I send 1 unit of desert infantry out, just to send a message. They're spearmen, so fighting against cavalry they'd have a decisive advantage. I just want to ward him off, and this does the job quite satisfactorily, since 1 unit of his general's bodyguard is now wiped out to a man by my massed missile troops. He still has those long shields out on his flank. I intercept them with my camel riders, aiming to catch him between both units as a pincer. In fact, I don't even need the 2nd unit, because the camel's frightening horses property does the job for me. Now let's see what's been going on all this time with my skirmishing cavalry way over to the left. These events are actually occurring contemporaneously with the cavalry battle you just saw on the right. He responds by sending 2 units of cavalry charging into them. I let them come. He charges right smack into the centre, works his way in, a little further, and I envelop on either side and achieve a complete encirclement and massacre the lot of them. There are no survivors. That's tough general's bodyguard units that I've just destroyed with skirmisher cavalry. Here you see he's sending more units, his Iberian infantry, to try to support the struggle, and thus his line is becoming thoroughly dislocated and he's losing a grip on events. I think that may be why at this time, over on the other side of the battle, he was allowing his other horsemen to be cut down by missile units. He simply wasn't aware of what was going on because he was concentrating on that. During all this time, the opponent was using his artillery on non-incendiary mode against my main infantry, which is pointless. I mean, it will kill maybe 1 or 2 people. Look, there you can see the one dead guy lying on his back. I mean, what psychological panicking effect is that going to have on me? I'm in no hurry to attack him with my main troops there. Since he's allowing me free rein with my skirmisher cavalry, I try to envelop his general unit. It's an armoured bodyguard general cavalry unit. I don't quite achieve a complete encirclement, but by sheer numbers I'm beginning to wear him down. However, I was rather alarmed to see that he was bringing infantry in to support them. However, he foolishly stopped to use his javelins from his scutarii there, which gave me enough time to finish off his cavalry. It was very close, and war dogs were arriving there as you saw, but I managed to kill his general and then pull those frail skirmisher cavalry out of harm's way. Thus you see that by splitting his cavalry, which was his main advantage in this battle, he has now completely frittered them away. I've destroyed his cavalry on the left, on the right, and now in the centre. Now I rush my missile troops into range of his and begin my archery storm against his infantry. I use my camel riders, who have been freed up from my right, as you know, to destroy his onagers, which are completely exposed now that he has no cavalry to protect them with. Now I possess the complete mobility and missile advantage in this battle, and wearing down his infantry with all of my archers. That's 480 arrows per volley descending on him. My cavalry, as you see, have free rein in his rear. I can cause as much alarm as I like back there, occupy his attention. I send my infantry in to confront his foot troops, deciding that it's time to finish him, though I do peel off some units to either side to achieve an envelopment. One to the left and one to the right over on the far side. As you see, turns out that my infantry aren't even needed. The sheer weight of numbers, the death of his general, and the missile casualties that they're taking rout all of his infantry. Of course, that doesn't mean that those desert infantry were useless. Their mere presence, protecting the archers, ensured that he didn't try to strike against my missile units at the beginning of the game. From the point of view of a horse, no amount of loyalty to its master is worth a spear in its face. And now I set about mopping up his final reserves, surrounding them with my infantry and cavalry, until the sheer concerned by number of enemy effect, combined with the demoralizing effect of the loss of his general, finished them off. So, how should my opponent have fought this battle? He should have taken many more missile units, knowing that he was playing against Numidia. He should have used his onagers on incendiary mode and targeted them against my massed infantry to try to have a panicking effect upon me, to launch me into a precipitate attack against him. He should have kept his cavalry massed together. It was the superior element of his army, and he could have used it in a knockout blow against my camels, and then been able to threaten the right of my army at will, while holding the attention of my archers with slingers on loose formation, while giving me some gentle encouragement from his artillery. Instead, he frittered away all of his advantages one by one, allowing me to destroy his cavalry piecemeal, in detail. And I suspect that if the general had survived in this battle, his own cavalry troopers would have been heartily tempted to murder him during his flight from the battlefield afterward, for having got their mates Manuel and Juan killed. If I had lived in the desert all my life, I'd be pretty pissed off too, and appropriately, the Numidians massacre the Spanish and show no mercy.